also recorded a bunch of affirmations on my phone and computer. I listen to those daily, and it's just inspirational stuff. It's me talking to myself, telling me all the great things that I've done in my life. I mean, we take all these amazing things that we're able to do, getting a driver's license, getting through schooling, any kind of commitment that you've had. You have evidence to support the fact that you're capable of what you set your mind to. It's just a matter of reminding yourself. It's a matter of taking it upon yourself, okay? Not a whole lot of people in your life are going to be giving you a lot of attaboys, telling you you can do some things. It really comes down to you doing it for yourself. I have a power hour. I take an hour of every day, okay? I review my visualization notebook. In this notebook, I have a list of things I'm grateful for, just a bunch of other things, declarations and affirmations. I have picture boards of all the goals that I want to achieve in my life, and I sit down with this book and I study it, and I visualize it, and I allow it to have an influence on my mind. I'm just marketing to myself, I'm billboarding myself. There's health, diet, exercise, I mean, it just kind of goes on and on. I have 20 goals in that book, and I review it often, okay? This stuff, I mean, honestly, I feel a little strange showing up here today and giving away these secrets, this inside peek at what I do on a continuous basis. And I hesitate standing up here and gloating or telling you what I've been able to do by utilizing these things, but I don't know, this stuff absolutely works, okay? I've read it. Thousands of other people are doing it. It's working for them. I've seen evidence of it in my own life, and that's why I consistently do it. I'm not just standing up here, this weird guy who does these strange things to have, do all these mind games and stuff like that. It's not like I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting through to you guys on this stuff or not, but I'm fully committed to believing in this, and I truly believe that it works, and I just really hope that somebody takes some of this stuff and try it out in their own life. I send text messages to myself with an app on my phone. I have calendar reminders in my Gmail account to pop up with the same kinds of things, like, hey, remember that time you sold 3 houses in one day, or remember that time you did this great thing, or you did that great thing, or you finished Bloomsday, or whatever, whatever it might be, anything to remind yourself of how great you've been. Visualization notebook, I've already shown you that. The inevitability and reward system. It's a great idea. This is just another, we're not so different human beings in that if we're rewarded for doing things, we like to do them more often, and if we're criticized or punished for doing things, we don't like to do them so often. You can set up these things for yourself. You can also have somebody else set them up for you. I know one gal I just met with last week who she has a weight loss goal of losing X number of pounds. She's taken a picture of herself in her swimsuit, and if she doesn't meet her goal target weight in 2 or 3 months, she's given the picture to somebody to post of her on Facebook. Okay? Now that's a little bit, that's extreme in my opinion, but that's kind of the idea that I'm talking about. You can set these things up to influence yourself. Okay? It's a matter of setting up these checks and balances so that you can push yourself to achieve the things that you really want and desire in your life. Creating vacuums. Okay? So human beings. So here's a perfect example. I didn't show up here until 10-15 minutes late. In the meantime, we as human beings intuitively find a way to fill the space, okay? If you have an extra 15 minutes on your hands, you find a way to fill it. It's just what we do, okay? So what I've done is I've taken that concept and I've decided that I'm going to intentionally create a vacuum. I'm going to intentionally remove something from my life, and I'm going to choose to fill it with something positive. It could be uplifting audio, it could be spending time with a book, anything, exercising, whatever it might be, spending some time to review your goals, anything like that. Create a vacuum. Okay, I'm no longer watching, what's a popular TV show that's appropriate?
True Blood.
I'm no longer watching Pretty Little Liars, is what I'm no longer watching this TV show, and for that hour, every hour on Wednesday, I'm now going to read a book. Okay. The big big wise list. Okay, this is huge. If you did nothing else, please do this one. Okay, and by the way, all of these 7 techniques are in the packet on the second page at the top. If you did nothing else, big wise list. You set aside, create a vacuum, give yourself 30 minutes. You take some time, you visualize exactly what your life would be like in 5 years. Okay, imagine what your life would be like in 5 years if you didn't achieve anything you desired. In fact, you got worse. In fact, things just perpetually continued to deteriorate. Okay? You didn't overcome any of the hurdles that were set in front of you over the next 5 years. Okay? What does your life look like? What are the 10 worst things about your life in 5 years if you didn't achieve or attempt to achieve anything you set out to? And then make a list of those 10 things, write them down. I'm talking about, like, I dug deep. I'm talking like teeth are falling out, can't afford the surgery that I might need, can't afford to help out my parents when they need it. I'm talking dig deep. You're the only one that's going to see it, but write those 10 things down, okay? After you do that, I want you to visualize 5 years in the future again. And I want you to visualize as if you were able to achieve everything you set for yourself. Every goal you ever imagined. For the next 5 years, you were the most ambitious person. You knew in your heart that you were able to achieve anything you set your mind to. You made positive steps. You started, you created your 7 techniques to influence yourself, and you set out and you achieved great things over those next 5 years. What are the 10 best things about your life in the next 5 years if you were to do that and you write those things down? After you have that list of 20 things, I call it my big wise list, and I review it once a week. I don't do it any more than once a week because it's honestly because it's too powerful. I get imbalanced. I just become the most driven person you've ever seen. I don't want to hear or do anything else other than achieve what I've set out to do. It's extremely powerful technique. All right, next we have track it. It's also a good idea when you start understanding that it's a good idea to perceive new evidence, to start seeing the blue in your world. It's a good idea to start writing it down. Like my gratefuls list, for instance. I write the things down that I'm grateful. I track it. I track all the successes I've had. I call it my wins list. Okay, a wins list. Every time you do something that you're proud of, every time that you're able to achieve something that you set out for, write it down and review it. Remind yourself constantly of how great you can be. Also, a good idea is to keep a journal. Okay, here we go. This is the most, influential thing that's it's one of the most, it's toughest but one of the most influential. It's a matter of changing your media. And I'm not talking about the news. I'm talking about anything and everything that surrounds you, okay? Everything that has an influence on you throughout your day, throughout your life, throughout your household, whatever it might be. If you change your media from audio, from listening, Eddie Evidence, he's a great artist, he's obviously talented, but a lot of his stuff is very red, it's very negative. You change from listening to his stuff to listening to a little bit more Tony Robbins or a little more audio from inspirational people, that's going to start to have an influence on you. Also a visual, Freddy Krueger, South Park, or Pursuit of Happiness. Have you seen The Pursuit of Happiness? If you haven't, great movie, I recommend it. But watch that movie for 2 hours and try not to feel like going and doing something great. I dare you. Also Facebook. Facebook's big right now. If you're on Facebook, you're being bombarded by a lot of messages from a lot of different people. Some of them are extremely negative. Some of them are going to bring you down. Some of them are going to point out all the reasons why you shouldn't try so hard, or how bad the economy is, or this and that. It's a great idea to not pay much attention to that, and there's an easy option to X that from your newsfeed list. Also, start replacing that. Create a vacuum of that negative person who's constantly down on whatever it is that they're constantly down on, and replace it with somebody who posts awesome things. Oprah Winfrey being one of them, and then there's a list of other great people. Email. It's just a good idea to, like I said, with calendar reminders and sending influential messages to yourself.